I'm just trying to decide if I'm comfortable even talking about that.
This one's wife. William is abusing Catherine. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. You are fully familiar with the smearing of Catherine that has taken place. This has been encouraged by this one's wife by her failure to speak out against the behaviour of the Sugars, the Sussex squad, as they have engaged in a repeated and sustained series of attacks against the Princess of Wales. This has resulted in a mass of ridiculous observations in relation to the health and safety of the Princess of Wales. The individuals concerned have suggested, for instance, that Catherine has had a hysterectomy, that she's had a boob job, that she's had a bottom job, that she had an affair with Thomas Kingston, that she was divorcing William and she's run away, that she's got a problem with drugs and she's in rehab, that she's got an issue with alcohol and she's in rehab, she's in a coma, that she's dead, that she's had a mental breakdown and has ended up institutionalized, and other ridiculous rumours besides, which have been repeatedly circulated. Indeed, there is a group that has some 13,000 members that goes by the hashtag of "Where is Kate Middleton?" As I explained to you, there was a blog that had been created asking the same question with a variety of ridiculous conspiracy theories. And this one's wife has done nothing, despite, of course, being somebody that speaks out about misinformation and disinformation. She has remained completely quiet, not once condemning the disgusting speculation about her sister-in-law. This, of course, is no surprise. It's no surprise because, one, as a narcissist with no emotional empathy, why would she care about her sister-in-law? Two, her sister-in-law is the nemesis, which means that she's painted black, and therefore an attack against the Princess of Wales pleases this one's wife. Three, it means that she's able to allow wedges to be sought to be driven between Catherine and other people, because she has a pathological hatred of Catherine, because Catherine is everything that she is not: popular, magnetic, empathic, married to William, going to be the Queen of England. And all of those things are repeated reminders of the things that this one's wife is not, and she cannot stand that. Thus, anything that tarnishes the reputation of the Princess of Wales, anything that makes her seem less than lovely, less than kind, anything that becomes a stain upon her character, is favourable in the world of this one's wife. And there is an article published by something called Lifehacker, the lifehacker.org, that tells us Kate Middleton reportedly suffers through relentless verbal abuse from Prince William. Marriage is challenged for anyone, the article states, but when you add the constant spotlight of the public eye, you mean repeated, it becomes even tougher. This is the reality for Prince William and Kate Middleton, a couple admired around the world. Recently, however, troubling reports have surfaced, suggesting that their marriage is far from perfect. According to an anonymous insider, Prince William has been verbally and mentally abusive towards Kate. Now, let's pause there for a moment. No evidence has ever come forward that that's the case, but that doesn't mean that it might not occur. After all, what goes on behind closed doors often does not see the light of day. But let us consider the nature of the two personalities that are involved. We have Catherine, who is empathic. This doesn't mean she's a saint. It means that she can make mistakes. It means that she can also be unpleasant where there's an external stressor that's reducing her emotional empathy. But she's somebody who largely behaves in a kind and considerate, a caring and compassionate fashion, which means that she's not going to be an individual who regularly gets on her husband's nerves through poor behaviour. William is a normal. This means, like Catherine, he has empathic and narcissistic traits. With her, her empathic traits are stronger than her narcissistic ones. With William, they may be more matched. They will not be as extensive as those experienced by Catherine. He also has emotional empathy, but it's for a smaller group of people. His wife, his children, his father, friends, those around him. When he's engaging with somebody face to face, he'll function with emotional empathy towards them. But he doesn't have it as wide-ranging as Catherine does, which also means that he will have a tendency not to suffer fools. Catherine will be more forgiving. Doesn't mean she's a mug, but as an empathic individual experiencing emotional thinking, she is more likely to give people the benefit of the doubt for longer than her husband would do. As a normal, William is also subject to the reduction of his emotional empathy occasioned by external stresses, which mean his narcissistic traits could come to the fore. Therefore, it is the case that a normal could engage in being verbally abusive towards someone, including his spouse. However, Catherine would be less likely to give him occasion to do so by virtue of her empathic nature. Furthermore, he has emotional empathy for her. There are no reports of such behaviour, and it's not that he operates with a facade. What you see is what you get. When he takes an interest in people in public, he's taking an interest in them because he deems that to be appropriate. He's not creating a facade in the same way that this one's wife does. So whilst it is conceivable that a normal individual could be verbally and mentally abusive towards their spouse, this is something that is, of course, far more often the case with a narcissist because of the absence of emotional empathy, which removes the brake on that behaviour. For William, his emotional empathy towards his wife guides him in a way to treat her with care, with compassion, with respect, and therefore would be far less likely to engage in such behaviour. A narcissist doesn't have such restraint upon them because they don't have the shackling effect of the emotional empathy to guide them. Instead, the narcissist is driven by the necessity of seeking control, which essentially means whatever needs to be done to get that control must be done. The article continues by explaining these allegations are shocking and paint a stark contrast to the couple's polished public image. For Kate, known for her grace and dedication, this adds another layer of complexity to her already demanding life. Addressing mental health and relationship issues is crucial, even for those who seem to have it all together. In this article, we'll explore the reported issues within their marriage, how they might be affecting Kate's mental health, and what this means for the royal family. More importantly, we'll highlight the significance of mental health support and awareness, reminding us that everyone, regardless of their status, can face struggles behind closed doors. Living in the public eye adds an enormous amount of pressure to any relationship. That is a fair observation. And of course, that public scrutiny could amount to an external stressor which reduces emotional empathy. Recent reports from the Spanish tabloid Marca have brought their marriage into the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. According to an anonymous source close to the couple, Prince William has been verbally and mentally abusive towards Kate. Well, it just repeats the allegations without giving any particularization. This insider, who works within the royal household, claims that the future king's behaviour behind closed doors is far from what the public sees. Kate's really been through the ringer lately, the source revealed. The way William treats her is just awful, and it's been really hard on her. She's such a strong person, but even she has her breaking point. Such allegations are deeply troubling, especially given the couple's carefully crafted public image. Prince William and Kate Middleton have long been seen as the ideal royal partnership, the article tells us, balancing their duties with apparent ease and unity. However, these reports suggest a significant disconnect between their public appearances and private lives. Well, it's certainly the case that people may well put on a public persona and behave differently privately. In fact, nearly everybody does. For instance, people will behave in a professional manner, and they'll behave differently once they get their sloppy joes on once they're at home. But there is a world of difference between the way that the narcissist will operate a facade and the way that somebody is different in public compared to the way that they are at home. It isn't a case of abusing Kate and then putting on this image of an idyllic relationship. You only had to look at the way that the Princess of Wales and Prince William were looking at one another, trooping the colour, to see the genuine emotional empathy that passes between the two. Now, there's no doubts that there have been occasions where their marriage has been perhaps somewhat strained. That's what happens in marriages because of what the outside world throws at you. But that doesn't equate into abuse. And this article provides no specification that there has been any actual abuse, but just suggests that that is the case. It goes on to state this isn't the first time the marriage of Prince William and Kate Middleton has been thrust in the spotlight for reasons beyond royal duties and public appearances. The current allegations of verbal and emotional abuse bring to mind past rumours and controversies that have periodically plagued the couple. In 2018, during Kate's third pregnancy, rumours swirled about Prince William's alleged affair with Rose Hanbury, a close friend of the couple, bringing that nonsense up again, which is completely untrue, and Giles Corran has admitted that he issued a joke in that regard, which of course, unfortunately, gained legs and has ever since been running around powered by the vitriol of the Sugars. The speculation suggested that William had strayed from his marriage, causing a significant strain on his relationship with Kate. Although Buckingham Palace vehemently denied the rumours, the incident left a lingering cloud of doubt in the minds of many royal watchers. A source from the Daily Beast commented there has never been any enmity between Kate and Rose. The rumours were a load of rubbish. The family are ancient allies of the crown, and they will be there at King Charles's coronation. An historic incident that's being brought up in an attempt to now smear the Princess of Wales and also to do so against the Prince of Wales. Furthermore, the recent claims of abuse have sparked comparisons to revelations made by Prince Harry in his memoir Spare. Harry's account detailed various struggles within the royal family, hinting at an environment fraught with tension and emotional strain. For those who have read Harry's memoir, the idea of discord within the royal household may not come as a complete surprise. It then talks about what the impact would be on mental health. So it basically takes unspecified, unparticularized allegations that aren't supported by any evidence, suggesting that it can be a difficult environment, and Spare, through Harry, has hinted at that it's a difficult environment, and therefore concluded that William must therefore be mentally and verbally abusing his wife. Once again, it's a hatchet job and a smear. And of course, this one's wife, who regularly bleats about misinformation and disinformation in relation to herself, because as you know it's a threat to control, does absolutely nothing to silence articles and conjecture that manifest in relation to her sister-in-law for the reasons that I advanced earlier. This article is complete nonsense, but the continuing silence of this one's wife in relation to the treatment of the Princess of Wales is hardly a surprise, but it simply works against her. She is failing to control those foot soldiers that go out there on the internet and talk shit about other people whilst praising her. Of course, she won't do anything about it because it suits her, but it's ultimately going to pose a problem for her because people will start to point to how the Sugars and their nasty vitriolic ways have never been condemned by her, and may even argue that have been encouraged by her, and that the trail will lead back ultimately to a connection between her and the Sugars. The result being that there'll be further condemnation of her. The smearing of Catherine has been particularly nasty and has been going on for some time, and the accounts that engage in it are ones which are linked to being pro-Sussex, that are members of the Sussex squad. Yet, where is Christopher Boozy with his supposed campaign against single-purpose hate accounts? Once again demonstrating his jaundiced views and his inherent bias. He engages as being a Rottweiler for the Duchess of Sussex to try and silence her detractors, but does the square root of fuck all when it comes to dealing with detractors of the Princess of Wales. Indeed, he is a detractor of her himself. These foot soldiers have been allowed for far too long to engage in this behaviour, but ultimately more and more people are seeing the viciousness, the nastiness, the lack of truth associated with their allegations. And this is not portraying the Duchess of Sussex in a good light at all, because it demonstrates how she has failed to rein them in, how she has failed to condemn them. And as others start to do so, including those which might traditionally be seen as being pro-Sussex, her continuing silence becomes all the more stark and will result in yet more criticism and condemnation of her. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.